So I always get this question, what would be the best first gun for me? And I'm going to try to answer the impossible here and give you my experience. Welcome to the channel. My name is Heckshot, and thank you guys for joining us. If you're not familiar with what we do here, gun reviews, concealed carry videos like you see here. And I'm going to try to hopefully help some people out, some newer shooters, whatever the case may be, and help you pick your first best gun option. I'm going to give you my experience. We're going to talk about some of these things and some of the options I would probably stay away from. So make sure you destroy the like button, become a subscriber, and thank you guys for everything you do. So what do you want to look for in your first gun? There's some things you definitely want to keep in mind. Reliability is going to be key. All these guns are reliable. Most modern guns are anyways, so it's not something you really have to worry about, but it still is the most important thing. Ammo availability and caliber. You want to make sure that you can readily get that ammo, that you can take it to the range, that you can buy a bunch of it and practice, because you're going to be at the range a lot if you're doing it right and you want to learn. Also, how the gun shoots in your hands. This is going to be different from person to person. Once you get used to, the fundamentals is going to be key, and you want a gun that you will be able to shoot efficiently, so that way you can build those fundamentals, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So anytime I ask somebody, what are you looking for in the gun? That's a question you're going to have to ask yourself and answer yourself, because I can't do it, but what do you want the gun for? And most people say, well, I want it to be able to do everything. So basically that means home defense, range, and possibly carry down the road. And I feel my pick really fits well with all three of those as well. So how the gun fits your hand. These are all striker fire guns, and you're going to see shooting of quite a few of these actually. But let's start with the single stacks. So single stack 9s this is a huge market. And this is something that me and Mrs. Heckshot actually started with. We actually had a Ruger SR9C and an M&P 9C for all of a month, and then switched to a regular shield and an XDS. Single stack 9s are great for carry because they are so light and concealable. The grips are generally pretty short, and they're just great guns overall as far as carry. The problem you get into is there's not a lot to hold on here, and because they're light, the recoil of them, it can kind of get to you a little bit, especially when you're first starting out. This right here is an M&P Shield Performance Center, great little shooter, but again, it being so light, the muzzle rise and things like that, it may throw you off, and it may cause you to start to flinch because it is so light. Glock 43, same kind of deal. This one's even lighter, so it's going to jump even more in your hand. It's got a pretty heavy trigger on it. This gun for me is hard to shoot now. I mean, we've been in this for 2 years now, and I am by no means a professional, but I feel I'm starting to shoot really well. But with this gun, it's just hard for me to shoot. I'm gonna be honest with you. So single stack 9s, they're great for carry, but for your first gun and building those fundamentals and things we talked about, wouldn't recommend it. Glock 19, this is probably the most recommended first gun, and there's a lot of reasons for that. They're simple, they're easy to clean, they come with 3 magazines, at least the Gen 4s do. Very simple, very just a simple overall design. Now, one thing that I like to think about as well, when I'm coming up with this list, because we took quite a few of these to the range to do side by side for you guys, but what about buying extra stuff for the gun to make it usable? And when I buy a gun, I don't want to change too much on it. I just spent $500-600 bucks. I want that thing to be great right out of the box. These guns are great right out of the box, but like just to get this usable with the red dot, this is the MOS 19 Glock that just came out. I had to update the sights because it came with regular Glock sights. These are what regular Glock sights look like. And this sight picture to me is just really weird. Now, there's a lot of people, a lot of way better shooters than me that like this sight picture. It's not for me. So with Glocks, it seems like you always have to spend extra money just to get it the way you want it. All right, so for the extra money that you throw into these guns, you can do anything you want with this gun. The aftermarket support is fantastic. It can get a little bit, you know, you're going to hear these words like grip angle and high bore axis and all this kind of cliche kind of stuff. I feel like you can get used to anything. This gun takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's not terrible at all. You know, I just feel like you always have to spend something extra with a Glock. You know, this is a great option, and this would definitely be in my top 5 recommended first guns, but it's not my top pick for first gun. Great shooter though. What about a 45? One of the other cliches that you'll hear all the time is, man, why buy another caliber when you can shoot them in the toe with a 45, blah, blah, blah. Why shoot twice? All this kind of crap. It's so stupid. A 45 is a great round. This gun right here, man, when it shoots, it's not really snappy. It just pushes you, and it lets you know it's there. It's a great round. The trigger on the PPQ is fantastic. Probably the best one out of any striker fire gun. Really, this thing is great. You'll see the high bore axis like I was talking about. You can see how much lower the Glock actually sits in my hand. You may get a little bit more muzzle rise, but if you know what you're doing and you control the gun, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But the 45 in general, I wouldn't necessarily start out with. Even though this is a great platform, if you hand it to your wife or somebody else, or if you're sensitive to it, you know, because we all get, you know, especially when you first start, you're kind of sensitive to the recoil. It may break those fundamentals right off the bat. You don't want to do that. So 9mm would be my preferred caliber of what I would recommend to somebody. So you may be asking yourself, well, hey, what do you recommend as your first carry gun, or first gun in general? Which gun would you recommend? P320, baby. I absolutely love this gun. You guys know I'm a huge fan if you follow the channel, and I'm gonna make a case for this gun right now. One of the first things right off the bat, you're not confined to this one gun. Like the rest of these, you're confined to what they are. This gun right here, let's say you get the subcompact for carry, but you want a compact or full size for the range or home defense. Lock the slide to the rear, rotate your lever down. Now your serialized part on the rest of these guns is the actual on the frame, okay? On this gun, you have the removable chassis, but this is the serialized part. So now you can switch calibers with this one gun. You can get a bigger size, something more to a Glock 19 type of size with this one gun. So if you live in a state where you're restricted to own many firearms, or you want to use your first gun for multiple things, this is going to be a great option. You slide this back down in there. It's super simple. Slide it back. Put your pen back in. Like I said, any size, any configuration. They come in 9, 357 SIG, 40, and 45. The 45 is the only one that isn't interchangeable between the rest of the calibers, which kind of sucks, but still, you can change it to whatever you want, just like that. Now, the caliber exchange kits, they're still kind of hard to get. Some of the frame options are still kind of hard to get. Some of them are kind of expensive, the caliber exchange kits, but you do have that option. So I wouldn't say it's the most important reason I would recommend this as a #1 first gun, but it definitely is a good selling point for it. Also, the caliber that, obviously this one is a 9mm, that's what I prefer. You can switch your calibers if you decide down the line you want to switch to a 357 or a 40 or 45, you can do that. How about shooting the gun? How about trigger feel? All this kind of stuff. The gun just feels amazing. The trigger, absolutely fantastic. You have a little bit of take up here and it breaks. I mean, it's right there, and there's the reset. Now, it's not super light. It's not super light like the PPQ, but for carry, you don't really want that. The thing with this is, it's not always how light the trigger is, it's how clean the trigger is, and this one is very clean. Such an easy gun to shoot. Now, what you're going to be seeing right now is actually my buddy Mike. This is his first time ever going to shoot a pistol at the range. and he has the compact version of this, which is about the size of a Glock 19, a little bit bigger than this one. And he rocked it, man. I mean, he absolutely rocked it. His wife, we didn't get her on camera. This was a separate occasion. She had the compact version and the subcompact, and she rocked it as well. Mrs. Headshot, you're going to see her shooting the gun. Even on her worst day, she does amazing with this gun. It lends itself really well to put this in a new shooter's hand and start shooting and developing those fundamentals right off the bat. When it comes to what I want to change on this gun, I don't want to change anything. The sights are Siglite night sights. They got a little shelf for one-handed manipulations. The gun feels amazing in your hand. The grip texture is great. The compact version of this, I think, is the most versatile because you get the full 15 rounds, but you can buy a subcompact frame, put it on your compact slide and barrel, and carry it like that, and then switch your frame out for the range or home defense. With a $50 frame or grip module, you can do all that. So the compact, I believe, is the most versatile. I'm definitely going to be adding another one to my arsenal, but this thing is just great. Left-handed shooters, you have your slide stop, which is full-time ambidextrous, and you can swap over your magazine button. Reliability, these things have shown they've been out for a couple years now, maybe even 3 years now, I think. They started with the full size, then the compact, then the subcompact, and through many reviewers, many examples, these things are proven to be reliable. And that's a 6 hour, so we wouldn't expect anything less. So you're getting a good name brand. As far as price, I've seen some of the compact SIGs go for $450 online. I paid $503 plus a transfer fee and I think shipping on this one, so I'm in it for $550. But anywhere from $450 to $600, you're getting a solid gun. It's a SIG, and I just don't have much to complain with this gun. Now you can buy, this one doesn't have a rail. This, you know, like the F&S right here, they're pretty comparable in size. You can actually buy the grip module, the medium-sized grip module, and it'll actually come with a rail. Your compact, full-size, and carry models already come with a rail. So if you're looking at home defense and you want that lighter laser option, or the rail so you can hang a lighter laser, that's going to be a good option. Also, something that helps this gun when you put it in a new shooter's hand is the weight. It's a little bit heavier, and when you load it up, it's going to be even more heavy, but that really helps you when you're dealing with the recoil and trying to build those fundamentals. It doesn't snap on you all over the place, so that weight actually helps it out a little bit, but it's still light enough to where you can carry. So, it's easy to maintain, it's easy to shoot, you can change it out to whatever you want it to be. I just feel this is the best first option for your first gun. You can change it up, whatever you want to do. Now keep in mind, when you buy a gun, this is a great investment because there's always somebody looking to buy what you have, and you're not always stuck with the first gun that you buy. So that's always an option, but hopefully that'll give you some things to think about when you're looking at your very first gun for carry, home defense, range. Just some things to think about. Any of these options are going to be great options, and this isn't even a comprehensive look at all the great options out there. You also have double to single action guns, which are fantastic and so great to shoot. That's something we're going to be getting into here very soon as well. We've done work with a couple, but not many. But double to single action guns are fantastic with an exposed hammer. It gives you a little bit more in-depth kind of things to think about when you're doing it. So that's why striker fire guns I really like, because it's one pull, you load the gun up, it's ready to fire. There's no extra controls you have to mess with. But don't count out the single to double action guns either. But like I said, this striker fire gun, this one example, definitely my best pick. I want to know my subscribers down below, and all you guys, if y'all can, just leave a comment on what's your favorite gun to recommend people, their first gun. Help them out if there's a new shooter or newer shooters. Hopefully, if you guys are watching this, hopefully some of our subscribers and all you guys can help each other out in the comments. Just let other people know what you like to recommend to people for their first gun and why. Thank you guys again. We'll see you in the next one, and as always, hold them down.